Mike Laval from Last Word on College Football joining us, and our topic is changes. And our question number 2, Mike, is concerning the SEC, whether it's the structure, whether it's any facet in how it's run or how it currently exists. What would you change about the Southeastern Conference?
Yeah, so I'll give you two things. Wow, that's a tough question. That's also a tough question. I'll give you two things though. This whole marketing effort of it just means more. I'm not a big fan of that. I think the SEC has done a very good job of moving college football forward over the last 20 years. I think they've been the leader, the conference of leadership when you talk about networks, when you talk about moving the game forward and that kind of stuff. But they haven't done it by always being the first to do it. They've measured the landscape. They've made prudent and wise decisions to move the conference, the institutions, and the game forward. With this whole, it means more. It seems like they're taking. It seems like it's very uncharacteristic of the league. It seems like they're overstepping their bounds. They're overplaying their hand, and quite frankly, when you're an SEC fan, you get kind of feedback from the rest of the nation of, hey, you guys are kind of being a little bit arrogant, a little bit pompous. Okay, you won a few national championships in a row. You got some great teams. Chill it with the conference. With the conference allegiance. So when the conference comes out with this marketing ploy, if it just means more, I don't think that plays well outside of the Southeastern United States. So I would kind of go back and I would recommend that they relook that marketing effort. The other thing I would tell you is the conference alignment. It puzzles me how we have not figured this out yet, how Missouri is still in the SEC East. This is real simple. Here's what's keeping people from figuring this out. They think in terms of one team and one team only. Okay, we have to get Missouri in the West. Who are we going to put in the East? The solution is real simple. Stop thinking in terms of one team and start thinking in terms of two teams. The reason you can't put one team over in the East is because of Alabama and Auburn. You can't put Alabama over there because of the matchup with Auburn, and then because then Alabama and Auburn become the traditional rival, the year-end rivalry. Auburn loses the rivalry with Georgia, the South's oldest rivalry. You can't put Auburn over there because then again, Alabama and Auburn become the traditional rivals, and Alabama loses their rivalry with Tennessee. And those institutions, Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, and Tennessee, are four institutions in the SEC that will make or break a vote. So you can't put Alabama or Auburn. What you can do is put Alabama and Auburn in the SEC East. So then you move Missouri, and who else do you move to the West? You move Vanderbilt, and then you solve a lot of problems. Alabama and Auburn don't have the amount of traditional rivalries with Western teams that they do with Eastern teams, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee. The only really traditional rivalries that Alabama and Auburn have in the West are with Ole Miss and LSU. So you give Alabama, LSU, and you give Auburn, probably I would say you give them Ole Miss as their traditional rivalry, and there you go. You've got it balanced out. That helps the competitive balance. Now the SEC East is not the 7th or 8th best division in college football. The SEC West is not the best division. They're both probably 2, 3, 4 as far as divisions go in football. Tennessee keeps their traditional rivalry with Vanderbilt because Alabama and Auburn are both in the East. I think I don't understand how hard this is. You take Alabama and Auburn, you put them in the East. Oh, by the way, Auburn is more Eastern than Vanderbilt is anyway. For travel purposes, Auburn would actually be getting a better deal in the East. Alabama is about 50-50. I crunched the numbers last season. I think Alabama, which if they went to the East, they would travel for the other institutions. They would travel. I think it came out to like 60 miles more a season. It was almost right at exactly what they travel now. So and Vanderbilt's the same way because they're more west than Auburn is east. They would actually travel. I think it came out to be right at about the exact same distance. So I would realign the conference, move Alabama and Auburn to the east, Vanderbilt, Missouri to the west. That's what I would do for the conference.